is full of pride.
Kindergarten teacher shares the sad truth about public schools indoctrinating 5-year-olds about transgenderism.
Today, we're going to talk about gender.
California kindergarten teacher is facing outrage after discussing gender identity with her students.
My daughter went home crying, shaking, so afraid that she could turn into a boy.
This is why LGBT acceptance is down. I'm not surprised. Let's talk a little bit about the LGBT indoctrination when it comes to kids. For those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Ariel. Just think of me as your lesbian damage control friend, because God knows we need it these days. If you're seeing me for the first time, make sure to click that subscribe button. SpongeBob announced as a member of the LGBTQ community during Pride Month. I mean, did SpongeBob even really need to come out though? I mean, he literally lives in a place called Bikini Bottom. 100% about him. He's the fishiest, pun intended, cartoon ever. Like super gay SpongeBob, but people were having a problem with that. I don't have a problem with SpongeBob. SpongeBob's funny. Also, SpongeBob, I learned as I got older, because I was watching it when I was younger as well, I learned that there's a lot of adult jokes that only adults will get when they watch it with their kids. So it's kind of an adult cartoon. And you know, I feel like SpongeBob is the Velma for gay boys. Like everybody knew that Velma from Scooby-Doo was a lesbian. Like literally, look at her, the biggest dyke on the planet. My friend Chad said, Blue's Clues peddles gender identity propaganda to preschoolers, and this includes pansexual, gender fluid, intersex, lesbian, non-binary pride flags, among others, in the alphabet song aimed at 3 to 5-year-olds.
The alphabet, and P is full of pride.
I don't exactly hate this. I mean, I don't like it either, but I don't hate it. First of all, I think it's good that Nickelodeon stuck with just the word pride and didn't go into details and go into sexualizing it at all. But I still think it's a little bit too much. Number one, I'm a lesbian and I can only make out like half of those labels. Like, I don't even know what half of those flags are. And I don't think it's progressive to show a kid all of these gender identities and flags and labels when most of them can't even wipe their own ass. I think it would have been way better to just show a bunch of, you know, different people holding hands, like 2 boys or 2 girls, or somebody who is kind of, you can't tell if they're a boy or a girl, holding hands with somebody else, or just existing in the world, and say, okay, people are different. It's okay. I have a goddaughter, and when she was about 8 years old, she asked me why I didn't have a boyfriend, and I told her it's because I date women. And she said, oh, well then why don't you have a girlfriend? And I was like, because I have a horrible dating history. No, but kids aren't stupid. It's not complicated. Let's not overcomplicate it, okay? I will say props to Blue's Clues though for including the lesbian flag, because literally nobody ever does. They include every other flag other than the lesbian one. Okay, so let's see what else is being shown to 5-year-olds these days. Woke toddler learns his gay BCs. B is for bye.
Coming out. D is for black. E is for equality. F is for family. U is for gay.
Wow, this video has over 1,000 dislikes and only 58 likes on YouTube. I think that says something. But y'all know my opinion is usually not exactly the opinion of everybody else, no matter what side it's coming from. I don't see why so many people were up in arms about this. It's honestly not that bad of a video. I've seen like, have you seen queer kid stuff? I would like to see what the rest of the book said, because I can see that there's like little like subtexts under the title of each like page with pictures. If it simply said something like gay, like some boys marry boys, like no problem. Like I don't understand why people were hating on that. I mean, like we have kids the ages of 3 and 4 years old reading about boys rescuing princesses from castles and girls falling in love with princes. And obviously as a kid, none of that related. I didn't relate to any of that stuff. So my question for the thousands of people that were going crazy on Twitter and on YouTube apparently over this video is, why is this considered sexual, but the princesses and princes and that kind of stuff isn't considered sexual? Being gay is as much sexual as being straight is. It's part romantic too, right? And in my opinion, those are the parts that it's okay to show children. That's where you draw the line. It's really that simple. There's a big difference between teaching kids love and romance versus sexuality and sex and sexual identity. Talking about how 2 women or 2 men might fall in love is very different than talking about a sex change. No, non-binary needs to go away with kids, in my opinion. Kids are already fucking confused with themselves. It's confusing as hell for kids to express their gender as it is. I think so many kids are figuring themselves out. So many teenagers, of course, also are figuring themselves out. I don't think it's a good idea to teach them that just because they're a boy that likes to play with girls' toys or likes to be more effeminate, that they are gender fluid or something, because that is just A, not true, and B, very confusing, even to me. As a lesbian who studies culture and does culture for a living, still can't keep up with this shit. Okay, back to the video.
Q is for queer.
Okay, Q is for queer. Queer, I think it might just be me because I just can't stand that word. I think it's very vague, especially when you're trying to explain something specific like this to a kid. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to get a kid to understand that some people are different without being able to explain why that person is different. Because basically people are identifying as queer just because they like the word these days. Like it doesn't even mean same-sex attraction or gender identity these days. Okay. Okay, T is for trans. Again, I don't think kids need to know what trans is at that age. I don't think they need to know what sex changes are at that age. I think they just need to know that, listen, some people look different. Call them what they want, be respectful, be nice, and that's it. Does this book go into a ton of detail? Like, I don't know. We can't see what's written on the bottom, right? Kids don't need to know about surgery and hormones and depression and suicide because of, you know, this is what the trans community deals with on a daily basis. They don't need to know about this stuff. They need to just be able to be kids and know that, listen, this person looks different. Maybe they, quote, are a woman that looks like a man, like, or a man that looks like a woman, like whatever. Just say, look, this person looks different, be respectful, be nice, we're all people and love each other. That's it. But I know people were going fucking wild on Twitter, so let's see what the replies were to this thread on Twitter. Somebody says, I don't get what homophobic people find so toxic with videos like this. Wow, so is the child probably gonna grow up to be respectful of people that can be different in so many ways? Oh my God, I can't believe this is brainwashing. Obviously, I agree with this person. So this is in response to Matt Walsh, who I follow, and I agree with the majority of his opinions and his tweets. And I don't think Matt is actually homophobic for thinking this way in this case, nor are most of the people who are saying that this is not indoctrination or brainwashing. I think that most people are just honestly worried about people sexualizing children, and that's understandable because I do think it can be a very, very fine line to walk. Right? This might be a weird comparison, but I personally would compare this specific book of showing kids LGBT people as to a book that would show kids what animals are at the zoo, right? This is a donkey. This is how you treat the donkey. This is a donkey's name. This is what how you are nice to a donkey. And that's it. Look, Johnny, D is for dolphin. Okay. Sometimes dolphins rape humans. Not okay. See where you draw the line? You draw the line? Lord, let's not do that second one. And I understand why the non-gays are afraid of this change because a lot of it is becoming sexualized. And I've done videos about this in the past. Look at the children drag queens. In general, the LGBT community is very sexual. Myself included, hello. Like literally I have an OnlyFans. I've been doing videos about sex positivity and body positivity and sex. At least 8 years, a better part of my channel. And I think one reason that we are inherently a very sexual community is because that's the biggest way we are different, is that we are romantically and sexually attracted differently to people. And also it is obviously a big part of gay culture. Anyone that's gone to any type of pride, we know this. Let's watch some more though.
But if Patty's his sister, then who is Mr. Ratburn marrying?
See, again, to me this isn't sexualized. Let's take a step back and see if you would feel the same way if it was a 4-year-old and you were asking a 4-year-old little straight boy, or assumingly a straight boy, asking them, hey Johnny, is that your girlfriend? Ooh. How is that any different than what we just watched? Tons of adults buy kids t-shirts like this and like this. If you are okay with either of these types of things happening, then you should be okay with showing kids gay people being cute and romantic, just not sexual, like I said before. I'm just saying, keep that same energy. I also searched for about 20 minutes looking for a girl's t-shirt like this, and I couldn't find any, so I think that also says a lot about our culture. We teach boys at a very early age to be like womanizers and flirty. Correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like if a little girl, 5 or 6 years old, had a shirt that said, hello fellas, people would think she was a slut. And like, funny thing is, that's actually sexualizing children. The genderbread person, or some variation of it, is part of the syllabus in many schools now. Your kids are gonna grow up to be trans, and there is nothing you can do about it. This is wild. Okay, identity, expression, attraction, sex. Okay, and all of those things make sense. I can understand talking about expression, and I can understand talking about attraction as long as it's not sexualized. I cannot necessarily understand talking about identity or sex.
Cartoon Network is celebrating Pride Month and the LGBTQ plus community.
It was just all of us.
Papa.
And what's up?
Daddy.
I think this kind of stuff is great. It's not going into detail about sex or sexual orientation. It's just kind of hinting at the surface of it. It's saying, look, these people are different. That's okay. Showing love is okay. Showing sex to kids is not okay. And obviously being sexual with kids or sexualizing kids also isn't okay. Let's break this down for people that are confused.
We're all for each other.
Every family has a different makeup, whether that's 2 moms, 2 dads,
one mom, one dad.
This is okay.
There aren't a lot of kid drag queens. They're considered inappropriate. But like, inappropriate just means that you look good.
This is not.
It has this really important message about diversity and equality.
This is okay.
And then you just move your bum up and down like that. And that's twerking.
This is not. So I hope that broke it down for you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. And you know what? I haven't shouted out my OnlyFans in quite a while, so go and support me on my OnlyFans for actual sexual content that is okay, because it is made for adults of any gender and of any sexuality. Anyone who wants to think that I'm cute, I'm down for it. Link to that in the description below. Other than that, I will see you guys back here in a few days with a brand new video. Until then, I love you. Damage control complete.